Hello and welcome back here to the Token Venture Capital TV. I'm Javier. I will be your host for today. And like every session, we bring you the innovation, technology, and solutions you want to hear about. And the best of all, it's represented by the CEOs or the founders of the project. And you can always make questions to them or even make your comments. You're going to see there in the chat box that you will be able to leave any type of questions you have. And if it's relevant, we're going to address it. So it's a perfect opportunity to get to know the project directly from the co-founders or the CEOs. But before we move on to the interview, just as a reminder, you can see our previous shows and content by visiting token.com/VCTV/shows. Also follow us on our socials like Facebook and Twitter. If you're watching us on YouTube, just hit the subscribe button and you'll always be informed of great content, opportunities, and even giveaways. One last reminder, anything mentioned here is not any type of financial advice. Please do your research before making any decision. It's your choices and your responsibility. And with that said, we have a very special show today, and I would like to introduce Jay, representing CSR Plastic Credit. Welcome, Jay. How are you?
Great. Thank you very much, Javier. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's a very interesting project and really relevant for today's environment, what you're doing. So I would like a little bit of you can introduce us to yourself, maybe mention something about the team, and where is this idea coming from?
Well, first of all, thank you for asking. As we all know, the global plastic waste crisis is really spiraling out of control right now,
Mm.
and the amount of plastic waste pollution that is currently destroying our planet is just massive. And something needs to be done for this plastic pollution problem, and that is exactly what we are addressing here. Our company has a operational production facility here in the beautiful country of Thailand, where we are on a day-to-day basis converting your typical household plastic waste products into something called an advanced bio oil. And I would love to talk about that one a little bit more. But what we as a team have been involved with before, we have a long background in real estate development, IT, and finance. We've been developing real estate here in Thailand for now more than 15 years. And also we got involved with the cryptocurrencies and generally digital assets approximately 10 years ago. So we've been involved for quite some time on both of these different areas.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much for that introduction. Now, I do believe you have a presentation for us that you might want to share that contains a little bit about who's the company behind it, maybe a little bit of your expertise in this.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
To our viewers also, please remember you can always learn more about the project by visiting the website, which you can see down below on the screen in the banner. It's csrnow.com. And to know more about who is the project behind it and why they have the relevant experience, please visit courseairnow.com. Now,
Thank you.
back to you, Jay. Sorry for that.
Great. Are you able to see my screen at the moment?
Now we are.
Okay, excellent. So if that's okay for you, Javier, I'd like to just give a quick presentation to give the bigger picture of the company and the project and what we are generally doing.
We would love to hear that.
I'll jump into my slides over here. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome.
So as a company, Corsair Group, we got started in 2020. We have our global head office located here in Bangkok, and our European head office located in the Netherlands. Altogether, the company today employs approximately 100 people. Are you seeing my slides changing? It's all working well?
Yes, we do. It's working very well.
Okay, great. Okay. Now, as we all know, plastic waste is a global problem. And without going too much into the small details, I would like to use an example that was really an eye-opener for me, and that would be the following. if we just look at the amount of plastic waste, or generally the amount of new plastic that is being produced in 1 year alone, that amount would be more in weight than the entire combined weight of every man, woman, and child on the planet. So let me repeat that again. In 1 year, we are producing more new plastic than the entire combined weight of the humanity. All right?
And that's on a yearly basis.
In 1 year.
Wow.
And unfortunately, as of today, less than 10% of all of this new plastic ever gets recycled. Most of it will end up into the landfills, into the oceans, or it's getting burned. And that is a major problem. Here in Thailand alone, the Thailand people, about 70 million people, generate approximately 2 billion kilos of plastic waste each year. And most of this plastic waste ends up into the landfill scattered all over the country. Now, especially now during the COVID situation, we've seen that because all of the lockdowns, home deliveries, people are getting everything delivered home, packed in plastic wrapping and boxes, as well as all the face masks and protection gear, we've seen a huge increase in plastic waste globally during the times of COVID. Here in Bangkok alone, they estimate that the amount of plastic waste has increased by more than 60% now during the COVID situation.
I thought it would have been the opposite. That's interesting.
Right, but it makes sense because if you think about all the home deliveries and everything, I mean,
Yeah,
it's massive.
yeah.
And all these masks and everything, they all contain plastic.
Yeah.
So what we can say is that an average human being today generates approximately 50 kilos of plastic waste per year, which basically means that over the course of your lifetime, you will generate between 4,000 to 5,000 kilos of plastic waste. That's what all of us are responsible and contributing into this problem. Now, we have a solution for this problem. And we started our operations here in Thailand in August 2020, when we established our first chemical recycling plastic waste processing facility. And what we do on a day-to-day basis is we take your typical household plastic waste, like plastic bags, wrapping materials, packaging products, all this stuff that people throw away into the garbage every day. We take those plastic products into our facility and we process them by using a process called pyrolysis, whereby applying heat to the plastic, we are able to convert the plastic into a liquid form. So basically what happens is that all of these plastic products that we are dealing and using every day, they are all made from crude oil coming from the ground. And what we are simply doing is we are converting the plastic from its current state back into the form of oil, which is internationally referred as advanced bio oil.
So if I understood correctly, then you will get all that plastic, you would melt it, right? It's liquid.
Correct.
And then, okay, and then what do you do with the liquid?
So once we have the oil, we can use that oil now as a raw material for producing either more environmentally friendlier fuels, such as diesel, gasoline, or kerosene jet fuel. Or what is our main focus as a company is to use that plastic and use that oil as a raw material for the manufacturing of new plastic products. So in this way, what we are doing is we are supplying our oil to the petrochemical industry, the plastic manufacturing industry, which can then use the oil as a raw material to make new plastic products. And by doing that, we eliminate the need for new oil to be brought again inside the ground to the surface, as we can use the already existing plastic waste as a raw material for manufacturing all the new plastic products that we need as a humanity. So in the end of the day, what's happening here is that we are developing a solution exactly in the same way like we've been recycling glass, metal, and paper already for decades, where the old plastic bag becomes oil, and then that oil is used to make a new plastic bag. That is, in a nutshell, the most simplest way of explaining our day-to-day operation.
I have several questions. It's fascinating. Several questions. And yes, we do have a set of questions later on, but these are
Great.
questions that I would just like to raise up right now it's fresh.
Please.
First thing, is this I have not heard about this before. Is this proprietary technology that you have come up with something that a technology that has been going on for some years from somebody else?
Right. So we are, as of today, one of the leading companies in the world in the field of chemical recycling. We are not the only company. There are other companies operating as well.
With the same technology?
With the similar technologies, that's correct. We ourselves use technology currently from other suppliers. So what we like to do is we like to work together with the best manufacturing companies of technology internationally, and then implement those into our facilities. We are also looking to begin manufacturing our own technology, which would happen during next year. But as of right now, we like to work with the already existing technology suppliers.
Okay, perfect. We are getting already some questions. So would you like me to bring in these questions right now, or we wait for the end?
I would say that let's take them at the end, as I might already be answering them during the next few minutes.
Okay, perfect.
So just in case.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. Most importantly, what's really important here is to understand that we operate according to all the European Union standards, which means that this process is environmentally friendly. It is also very efficient. For example, if we have a plastic bag that you would normally throw in to your garbage bin at your home, we can basically take 100 kilos of plastic like this and convert that up to 95 liters of oil, which basically means that we have a conversion ratio up to 95%. In average, as there's always some contamination and other things involved, which we can't make oil out of, you could say that an average conversion would be approximately 75%. But if the plastic is relatively clean, which we are also working to clean up in the future in different ways, we can bring that conversion ratio up to 95%. So the process is really efficient. And also the process itself uses as a form of energy its own gases and oil to run the system. So the system is actually, aside from a little bit of electricity that we use to run some of the electric engines, it's actually very, very efficient also in terms of energy.
Very good.
Now moving forward from this, I just want to share with you what we are developing right now at our Bangkok facility. So as of today, we have a total production capacity where we are able to manage approximately 200,000 kilos of plastic waste per month. And now we are continuously expanding the facility altogether from the existing about 10,000 square meters to about 20,000 square meters of space, which will then, within this and next year, take us to a situation where we will be able to process approximately 2 million kilos of plastic waste per month here at our Bangkok production facility. Just to give you an idea of where this expansion is currently headed.
Oh, that's huge. Okay. And this is actually, so the plants that you have right now, it's actually
fully operational.
Developed, is in operation. Okay.
Yeah, fully operational and being expanded as we speak.
Okay.
Now, aside from our operations here in Thailand, we are also now expanding into Europe. We have recently formed a partnership with one of the largest metal manufacturing companies in the country of Slovakia, which will act as our first European locations to launch the Corsair operations. And at this facility, where we have taken over an existing building at this larger compound owned by our partner, we are going to now establish the first European chemical recycling facility for Corsair. What you can see here in the pictures is what we are renovating this building into. And we already have our first chemical recycling machine in Europe, which will be transported to this location and into Slovakia in the coming approximately 45 days. So here you can see what we are also doing there. Aside from Slovakia, we are also currently expanding into several other European countries, and we expect to be operational in multiple countries within Europe during this year and next year. Now, quickly talking about Europe and why this industry of chemical recycling and our method of attacking the plastic waste problem is so significant and so important just right now. Actually, what happened is that in the beginning of 2021, the European Union created a new law where for the first time ever, they actually made the plastic manufacturing companies to take responsibility of the plastic waste that they generate. And the way how this was done was that the European Union now obligates plastic manufacturing companies to use a minimum of 30% recycled plastic waste as a raw material in the manufacturing of the new plastic products. And due to this new law by the European Union, we suddenly became extremely interesting and started getting calls from the largest plastic manufacturing companies all over the world. And this is exactly where we are focusing right now to supply our oil to these large-scale companies. I'm also very happy to tell you today that we are just about to announce during the month of April a large-scale major collaboration with one of the largest plastic manufacturing companies in the world, which also happens to be one of the largest oil companies in the world. And this partnership that we are going to be announcing has been in the works already for more than 6 months. And we are very excited to make this announcement together with them shortly, which will mean that from that moment onwards, all of our oil will then be supplied for their use, and they will also join in the financing of our new production facilities globally. Now, just to finalize on this topic, the global business consultancy firm McKinsey recently made a study where they believe that this industry of chemical recycling will grow from today's market, which is in the few tens of millions of dollars in revenue annually, will grow within the next 8 years to become a $75 billion per year industry. The reason behind this is that the current demand for our type of oil is approximately 100 billion liters a year. That is the global demand for our product. While at the same time, the entire global production as of today would be approximately 20 million liters per year.
Wow, huge difference.
So we are looking at an massive emerging market with the huge upside potential, where the demand for the product, as I mentioned, is about 100 billion liters a year, and the current production is about 20 million liters a year. And this is also where this huge increase on the market, as stated by McKinsey, is based on. Now, just to coming to a sort of an end of this topic, I wanted to share with you some collaborations that we have formed primarily here in Southeast Asia and Thailand. We are extremely fortunate, extremely happy and lucky to be working together with great brands and companies such as Michelin, Ford, Mazda, Lexus, Nissan, Isuzu, including the largest shopping centers here in Thailand, including some of the largest hotel chains here in Thailand, where we work together with these companies, helping them to reduce their plastic waste footprint and also physically take care of their plastic garbage from the shopping centers, from the hotels and their businesses, which we recycle at our Bangkok production facility. Additionally to this, over the last about 6 to 8 months, we have also been featured by more than 50 different media outlets, primarily here in Thailand, including the largest newspapers, some of the largest TV stations, and altogether in the last about 6 months, there's been more than 100 articles written and released about our company, the CSR plastic credit, which I'm going to talk next, and generally about our mission to clean up our planet from the plastic pollution. So now, if you, Javier, if you're okay, I would like to now jump into the topic of the token and talk about the CSR plastic credit.
Very impressive, Jay. I'm really impressed by all the achievements, the project itself, the good cause that it is. And yes, I think we have a lot of questions prepared for you. I hope we can squeeze them in this remaining 25 minutes that we're going to have.
We'll be fine.
But before that, before I jump into questions, Jay, I would like to show to our viewers a video about CRS plastic so they can have a better understanding. And after that video, then we can jump on the questions. Is that fine with you?
Great.
Okay.
I have a couple of more slides, but we can do those maybe after the video if that's okay for you, and then we'll go to questions. Is that okay?
Perfect. Let's do that. So then,
perfect.
Let's
so
look at this video.
Great. Thank you.
Say hello to CSR Plastic Credit. The global plastic waste crisis keeps getting worse each day, and we are all responsible for this. Every year, we as human beings produce an average of 50 kilos of plastic waste. The production of new plastic products has skyrocketed, and the total production of new plastic in the year 2020 was over 370 billion kilos. Compare that to the total combined weight of all human beings on the planet, where every man, woman, and child together weighs approximately 320 billion kilos. This means that we manufacture more new plastic in just 1 year than the combined weight of all humans. Many of us think that the situation has been getting better over the last few years. The truth is that the situation is just getting worse, as only less than 10% of this plastic currently gets recycled. Corsair provides a solution. By using an environmentally friendly method of chemical recycling, Corsair turns the plastic waste into advanced bio-oil. This oil is similar in character to crude oil and can be used as a raw material to manufacture new plastic products, or can be refined into diesel, gasoline, and jet fuel. What is CSR Plastic Credit? CSR Plastic Credit is a digital receipt which proves that plastic waste has been removed from the environment. Every time Corsair removes 1 kilo of plastic waste from our environment, 10 CSR plastic credits are distributed into the circulation. Do you want to be part of the pollution or the solution? Every CSR plastic credit is backed up by real physical results of plastic waste being removed from our environment. When you hold 10 CSR plastic credits, you have helped to remove 1 kilo of plastic waste from our environment. Congratulations! You are now helping the planet And if you are a company, your awareness is rising within the global community. A recent study shows that 80% of consumers in the United States would like to buy products and services from companies that take responsibility to properly manage their plastic waste. How can people be aware of your good operations? CSR operates in an open source, most transparent and trustworthy database called a blockchain. Every CSR token and transaction is publicly recorded into the Ethereum blockchain and is available for everyone to see, providing ultimate transparency and public accountability. Reducing your plastic waste footprint and becoming plastic neutral is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. First, calculate your plastic waste footprint. Step 2. Then remove as much plastic waste from the environment as you create. Step 3. By acquiring and retiring a matching amount of CSR plastic credits. Some of the largest companies and brands worldwide are already endorsing the global plastic credit revolution. As soon as you take the first step towards reducing your plastic waste footprint and becoming plastic neutral, you get connected with tens of thousands of dedicated members of the CSR community worldwide. This allows you to attract a new and daily growing group of customers, build dedication among your existing customers, and increase your company's brand awareness. So, how to acquire CSR plastic credits? Option 1. You can purchase CSR plastic credits from an open exchange at market price. Option 2. By becoming a CSR merchant, you can begin to receive CSR plastic credits as a partial payment method from the sales of your products and services. Option 3. You can purchase a plastic neutrality package containing CSR plastic credits directly from csrnow.com for a special discounted price. The companies who reach the status of becoming certified plastic neutral will also be able to use the CSR label in their marketing and include the label in their product packaging. When consumers see it, they know you are committed to solving the global plastic waste crisis with them. Be the revolution. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be plastic neutral. Join us in the mission to help our planet now. CSR Plastic Credit is here.
Well, very good, very impressive. A lot of information
Thank
to
you.
digest there,
Thank you.
Jay. But really good. I really liked it. It gave us all the information that we needed. But please, you wanted to show us some slides as well.
Yes, just to highlight a few things from the video. Are you able to see my screen again?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. So just to highlight what was already said, but to make sure that everyone has the pinpointed the most important information. So CSR plastic credit, as mentioned in the video, is a digital receipt which proves that plastic waste has been removed from the environment. And in the most simplest way, every time when we as a company remove 1 kilo of plastic waste from the environment, we would then distribute 10 CSR plastic credits. This ratio between 1 kilo and 10 CSR plastic credits will always remain the same. Now, every single CSR plastic credit is documented, operates, moves in the Ethereum blockchain, which means that we provide the most transparent and obviously trustworthy public accountability for the plastic credit and its movements. Now, we are not the only plastic credit in the world. We are the leading plastic credit today, but there are others as well. And this general concept of plastic credit is today heavily being endorsed and supported by organizations such as the World Wildlife Fund, the World Economic Forum, European Union, and even now the United Nations. And the WWF, for example, define a plastic credit as a transferable unit representing a specific quantity of plastic that has been collected and possibly recycled from the environment. That is exactly what the CSR plastic credit is doing. And it's very important for everybody to understand that what makes the CSR so unique is that it is in every way backed up by the real physical work of plastic waste being removed from the environment. Now, the way that this operates is very similar to how the carbon credits would operate. And if you are familiar with the carbon credits and the carbon credit trading, in the recent years, the carbon credit market has grown to become a $300 billion a year market. And as a great example of this, Tesla, the Elon Musk's company, in the year 2020, actually made more money from selling carbon credits than they made from selling the Tesla vehicles. And that's a fact if you just go and Google it.
Yes, it is true. Yes, I've read about it.
Now, and then you add a little bit of Bitcoin profits there, and there you go. You can ask the question, what business is Tesla really in? Well, anyway, the plastic credit is now being endorsed by all of these different organizations and will follow the footsteps of the carbon credit. This is already being done. It's already being operated. It's pushed forward in many, many areas. And I do believe that in the next 3 years, what will happen, for example, in Europe, is that every medium and large size company will be by law obligated to take responsibility of their carbon footprint and also of their plastic waste footprint. And that is where the plastic credits would come into play. So altogether, as we said in the video, the question is always how much plastic waste do you or do your company generate each month? And do you want to be part of the pollution or the solution? Now, what we do is we help companies and private individuals to calculate their own plastic waste footprint. If you are a private individual, that would be about 50 kilos a year or about 5,000 kilos during your entire lifetime. But if you are a company, then of course it can be whatever. Step number 2 is we educate our clients and our users, our community, to remove as much plastic waste from the environment as they create. And the way how you do this is by acquiring and then retiring the matching amount of CSR plastic credits. So very important now, again, for the blockchain community is to understand that when the end user acquires, purchases the CSR plastic credit, in order for them to be able to receive the final certificate and to be officially verified on the blockchain to be the end user, the only one end user, they have to retire these tokens. In other words, burn them in order to receive that final verification and certificate. And again, this makes the CSR plastic credit a very unique project in the blockchain space, where the end goal is actually to retire the token in a very similar way as it is today done in the carbon credit market. Now, if you look at the biggest polluters of plastic waste on the planet, here you would have the top 10 companies. Obviously, brands that we all are familiar with and we all use on our daily lives. Now, many of these companies have, in the last 12 months, made public statements, such as, for example, companies like Nestle and Unilever, where their target is starting from this year, 2022, to remove more plastic waste from the environment than what they actually distribute to it. The combined amount of plastic waste that Nestle and Unilever together, for example, pollute the planet with is more than 2 billion kilos a year. And starting from this year, they now want to remove more plastic from the environment than what they contribute. The way how they are going to do this is simply by using the CSR plastic credit and potentially other credits as well. Companies like Starbucks, Pepsi, Microsoft, Nestle, Unilever are already involved globally in endorsing this global plastic credit revolution. So, in a nutshell, that is what we do. And I would be very happy to answer now your questions and maybe give a little bit indication of where do I see this plastic credit market to develop over the next coming years. So thank you very much for listening and for your interest.
Thank you very much, Jay, for that. So basically, if I understood correctly, you have tokenized this plastic card concept.
Exactly.
Okay, very good. And when you mentioned that the token will be burned, eventually that's the goal, obviously, because you would always like the person to acquire more tokens in this case, because that will reflect that they have got rid of their, you could say that the plastic waste. Now, would
Correct.
that mean that in the long term, a person will not be able to hold a token because it has to be burned?
Right. So basically what happens is that when you are holding an X amount of CSR plastic credits, you have the choice. You can either retire those tokens by sending them into a specific retirement smart contract address, which doesn't have any withdrawal function of it. So once they're there, they're gone forever. But obviously you have now that transaction recorded into your wallet, your verified wallet, and now you can show, and we will prove that and certify you that you are the only end user that actually retired this token and therefore removed the plastic from the environment. That's your option number one. The option number two you have is to obviously hold on to it. And if you feel that you would like to sell that token for someone else, now you can go and use the wonderful La Token platform where the CSR will begin trading on the 18th of April, and you can actually go and sell it for someone else. So whoever then is the holder of it will always have the option to either retire it and receive the final certification themselves, or to sell it for someone else, like, for example, these international brands that are now entering heavily into this space to begin purchasing and acquiring plastic credits.
Okay, now we understand. Thank you very much. And now I'm very happy also that you mentioned about the other option, the second option, in case somebody would like to trespass it to give away their tokens. And you mentioned that that will happen. It will be live in La Token from the 18th of April. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay, and if then you just allow me, please, then I would like to share that page with our viewers. I hope you can see my...
Yes.
Okay, here we are. This is the landing page in La Token where CSR is featured. If you go here, now it's not active and you cannot purchase because, as Jay said, it will be from the 18th of April. Here you'll be able to find all the information, the project summary, the tokenomics, what is a plastic credit that Jay was explaining to us a minute ago, how does it work, the functionality, about Corsair Group, which actually is like the company behind that proves expertise in this matter, the solution, expansion, which is always good, and the target. So all the information you'll be able to find here in this page. Simply go to latoken.com and type in the name of the project, CSR, and you'll be able to find information here. In case you do not have an account in La Token, please go again to latoken.com. Just press an open account. You'll have to submit only one piece of information, and then you can have the account open. Again, as a reminder, it will be live from the 18th of April. So you're still on time to do it. You're still on time to join this great project. And for what I've seen, Jay, you have a big amount of followers, a very big community, which I'm really happy for. And this community seems to come from all over the world. If
That is
you
correct.
if you can give us a breakdown, where do you think most of your community comes from geographically?
As of right now, I would say most of our community members are from Europe. So generally from the UK, Netherlands, Belgium, France, Italy. These would be the primary locations, and then, of course, all over the world.
Yeah, I found here also quite a few from Latin America.
Correct.
If I can, just to show a
Yes.
little bit, Mauricio says, "Good morning, greetings from Argentina."
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Mauricio.
Bill, very much great. Oh, this one, Frank. Hello, everyone. Greetings from Colombia, Latin America. Very happy to have CRS in the token. Morakov from France. Hello from France. And of course, we have several other ones that
Thank you.
are coming from different parts of the country, different nationalities, other ones from France as well.
Yes, yes. We are
Very
really seeing a lot of a lot of people getting involved with us from South America, from Latin America. That's really great for us. Thank you, guys.
no, it's really so good to hear all this, to have this positive feedback
Thank
from
you.
people like really welcoming it, because as somebody mentioned here, it's something tangible. It's something that
Yes,
it's tangible plus a good cause. We all realize, we all hear it all the time about how toxic in our environment and our seas are getting. But with
right.
this actually the solution, and what better that you can mix it with the blockchain technology.
Exactly. Exactly.
And again, we have on somebody else, Sylvain from Tahiti, congratulating you for the solution to the pollution. So again, really, really good to have all of these, all of this community here today with us. And
Yes.
if we have time, I would like to address a couple of questions. We
Please,
only have like
please.
5 minutes left.
Sure.
But okay, we already saw what obviously motivated you and your co-founders start the project. We have talked about the benefits of it. We've talked about also how the token gets involved in the whole ecosystem. But I'd
Yes.
like to ask, what can investors, I'm talking about now from the investment point of view, what can
Yes.
investors expect when they will be investing in this specific topic, in token?
Right. Great. So generally, I'll give you the macro perspective, and then become smaller in the next very short period of time. So I personally see that the plastic credit market will globally, in the next 3 to 5 years, grow to a position of 10% of what the carbon credit market is today. So that would mean that in the next coming years, the plastic credit market will grow to become a approximately $30 billion a year market. And that means that in the same way as these companies and big brands, including then obviously private individuals and smaller businesses, are beginning to take responsibility of their own plastic waste footprint, helping Corsair to go out there and collect the plastic from the environment and then recycle it into better usage. This will generate approximately $30 billion a year market for the entire plastic credit industry. We hope to be able to continue to be the leading credit in the world. We're not the only one by any means. There are others, but we are the leading one. And I do believe that we are the most developed, and also therefore will become the primary choice of any company and any private individual who wants to remove their own plastic waste footprint, or just to reduce it a little bit. Number two, there is an already existing market price generally for plastic credits. And as you know, today we are on our second round of IEO together with LaToken, where we are offering our solution as of today with a below average market price, significantly below. We are actually today at around 33 cents per kilo. In other words, about 3.3 cents per credit. whereas the average market price is today already about 50 or 50 cents per kilo or 5 cents per credit, which means that any investor getting involved today with the IEO will be able to acquire through La Token the CSR plastic credit below market rate. We are still planning now that the official listing at La Token platform on the 18th of April will happen at around 4 USDT cents per credit, even still below the 50 cents or 5 cents per credit market value. So this is what we're offering in the immediate moment. What will happen in the future, what I do believe, is that the demand for plastic credits will continue to increase. Right now, it's still voluntary, like it was together with the carbon credits in the early days as well. Today, the carbon credits are mandatory. And the same will happen. Mark my words on this. The same will happen. The plastic credits will become internationally mandatory for the companies and at some point, I believe, even for private individuals to take. At the moment, we are looking at the corporates, the big polluters, and these companies are already joining voluntarily into these programs. But soon it will also become by law an obligation for them to use the plastic credits to reduce their plastic waste footprint. I do believe that the value of the plastic credits in general, including the CSR, will continue to grow due to this massive demand. At the same time, on the other hand, there is the continuous flow of tokens out from circulation due to the retirement, which means that, number one, every single CSR plastic credit is backed up by the real physical work of plastic waste removed from the environment. Number two, there is a limited amount of those tokens and credits in circulation, while at the same time, there's a continuous flow out from the circulation through to the retirement of these credits by the end users. And that, I do believe, will create amazing opportunities for anyone involved right now, or anyone getting involved right now, as we see this market and as we see the CSR plastic credit to become more mainstream and more globally used as a way for companies and private individuals to take responsibility of their plastic garbage footprint. So in the end of the day, my closing statement, I would say that I believe that CSR will become one of the most popular digital assets in the world. And on top of that, one of the most respected digital assets in the world. Because when you look at every other project and every other asset that is out there, we are actually making a change in this world. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay, very much. And no, definitely, that I think that is the most relevant part, that people now
Yes.
can make a change. We see the company, as you mentioned, the big multinational, this will be the new path that they're going to go into. So why not
Exactly.
ourselves and this community that very much is involved in blockchain, and you manage to tokenize the plastic credit? Well, even better. It's like a perfect merger. So we still have a lot of more questions, Jay. Unfortunately, there's not much time, but I would like to invite you once again on the
Thank you.
week, because that's on the 18th of April. On that week, whether it's the same day or a little bit before for another show, we can even ask our traders, our viewers, to prepare the questions beforehand, and we're going to be addressing them. And
Great.
definitely, I think it will be really interested, and most important, it will help people understand why is this project so relevant. It's something tangible, something to help the environment. I think we should all participate in that. And as you mentioned, from the investment point of view, now is the time to act.
Yes.
So, Jay, once again, I would like to thank you very much for sharing with us such a valuable information. Our viewers from all over the world, thank you very much for participating with us, for spending your time listening to what we have to say. It's been fantastic. And again, Jay, please do visit us again.
Will do. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. Thank you, Javier.
Thank you, and your whole team. And to our viewers, well, the time to act is now. You have all the information. Please visit latoken.com, visit the landing page of CSR, and take action. Thank you for your time. See you in the next show. And until then, stay safe.
Great. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Goodbye.